A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should vote.
Right now, feminism has given women a lot of power in society, and all of society is crumbling because of it.
This is not your hill to die on. We're living through hell. Erica Kirk won't shut up. J.D. Vance is headlining the March for Life while his administration closes 51 Planned Parenthood health centers. ICE is grabbing 5-year-olds off the street, literal preschoolers in Spider-Man backpacks, and then disappearing them into detention centers in Texas. And out of all of this absolute hellscape emerges a new MAGA trend more painful than the last. Women arguing that they shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Why would you want to remove just from yourself the right to vote?
I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. The reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. Men are 80 to 90% of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run. So I just think if we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the hard jobs.
You heard that correctly. In 2026, some of you are out here saying women's suffrage was a mistake. And some of you are women saying it, that we've had it better before, that voting makes us too masculine, too aggressive, and too political, that our real power comes from influencing our husbands, not having authority ourselves. And
good that women can vote in America? I don't think so, and here's why. Nearly every legalized moral atrocity of the last 100 years was made possible by the female vote. Abortion and homosexuality would likely still be illegal if not for the female vote. Mass immigration in the welfare state rode on the backs of the female vote. Nearly every modern Democrat, including Obama and Biden, were elected because of the female vote. Even last night, the new Muslim New York City mayor, Mondami, won specifically because of the female vote. The 19th Amendment has been a moral and political tragedy for America, but why? Women were not made to lead, but to follow and to feel. This is God's design, and it's good within the family and the household. But emotions cannot be what is used to rule and govern a nation. Statistically and generally speaking, women vote for whatever feels most kind or peaceful or safe to their emotions. Women crave security and comfort, and whoever promises those things wins their loyalty. The problem is evil men know this, and they exploit it. For example, women are twice as likely to men to be seduced into an affair. They are 26% more likely to be financially scammed online. They are 3 times more likely to fall prey to psychics and tarot card readings and astrology and mediums. The same emotional vulnerability that shows up there also shows up in politics. Many call it suicidal empathy. So I believe that we should return to the household vote, where women share their thoughts with their fathers or their husbands, and the men in their life make the final decision. Men are not perfect, but they are far more fit to rule with logic, and they are less likely to be deceived in political matters. So I don't believe that we should repeal the 19th Amendment because I don't love women. I believe we should repeal the 19th Amendment because I love America, and I love American women enough to protect them and our nation from their political exploitation.
Real quick, I'm Lauren Faritra. Subscribe if you want more of this. Turn notifications on. We need to maintain our lead on Katie Miller, the wife of Stephen Little Bitch Miller, the white nationalist from Santa Monica behind all of this terror. And I bootstrap this podcast. Subbing is free, and it takes all of us to fight fascism. So let me break this down. You don't think women should vote? You don't think we should own property or sign contracts or have bank accounts?
You want divorce to be made illegal?
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because I don't think what we have today is really marriage.
You don't think we should be able to leave marriages if they turn dangerous? All of that came from having the right to vote. And you think some benevolent man is going to protect you instead? Let me tell you how that has worked out historically. Before women could vote, we couldn't keep our own wages. We couldn't leave abusive marriages without losing our kids. Marital rape wasn't illegal in all 50 states until 1993. Not 1893, 1993. The protection you're romanticizing was just men solving problems men created. And it came with the price, total obedience. Phyllis Schauffele spent her entire life fighting the Equal Rights Amendment.
They teach that women have been kept in a condition of oppression and serfdom for all these years, and that society owes it to them to take care of their children and to find them jobs at the expense of more qualified men or whatever. It is a teaching of women that they've been oppressed. It's a chip on the shoulder attitude.
She told women that they didn't need legal protections because men would provide them. Then her husband died, and she discovered that he'd been hiding assets and controlling her finances. And suddenly she needed the exact protection she'd fought against for decades. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be treated as property. I quite like believing that I'm an equal human. Even if you don't, leave my fucking rights alone.
We're too emotional. We vote for higher taxes and just abortion and just a bunch of stuff that doesn't really make sense.
I quite like owning my own home. I'm pretty fond of having my own bank account. I enjoy being able to sign contracts without asking men for permission. You don't want to vote? Don't fucking vote. The election would have had a different turnout if you didn't vote for this dictator we're living under anyway. But if you're out here arguing that you shouldn't be allowed to control your own life, your own money, your own decisions, peak pick-me behavior at its absolute finest, you're betting everything on someone else staying alive, staying interested, and staying kind. You're gambling your entire existence on conditions you cannot control while having zero legal protection if anything goes wrong. You've been sold this idea from some trad wife BS on TikTok that traditional marriage means more safety, that data says, in fact, the data says the opposite. Women whose finances are controlled by their spouses are trapped. 65% report wanting to leave but can't afford to. When divorce happens, women's standards of living drops 27%. Men's go up 10%. The security you were just promised is just dependence. And dependence is vulnerability when there's no exit. So women who oppose suffrage thought staying quiet would protect them. They still lost custody of their own kids. They still couldn't own property. They still had zero legal recourse when men hurt them. You're trading your own autonomy for permission, for validation from a bunch of incels, legal protection for personal protection that vanishes the second someone changes their mind. A voice in your governance for the hope that somebody might speak for you. And for what? To prove that you're loyal to a movement? To show that you're not like one of those women? Right now, you can vote, you can own property, you can have a bank account, leave if things get dangerous, and you're arguing to cut those safety nets? The political movement telling you to reject your rights is the same one that benefits from you being powerless. They're selling you traditionalism while stripping your legal protections, and you're somehow doing the sales pitch for them. You can be conservative, you can value traditional marriage, you can believe whatever you want about gender roles in your life, but arguing against your own legal rights is not conservatism. The women who fought against suffrage were wrong. History proved it. They suffered anyway. You have the benefit of hindsight that they didn't. They've already fucked that up. You don't have to become a feminist, but stop fighting against your own legal protections.
The Founding Fathers restricted voting rights for vast majorities of people, including women. The women didn't receive the right to vote until the 19th Amendment.
And then we fixed that.
I don't think that was a good thing.
The men encouraging you to do so benefit from you being powerless. You're making yourself vulnerable and pretending it's strength. You're signing away protections you might desperately need someday for approval from people who think you are disposable. You think you're special enough that the rules won't apply, but by the time you figure out otherwise, you'll have spent years convincing other women to give up the rights that they could have saved themselves. When circumstances change, when protection doesn't show up, when you need the rights you've spent years arguing against, it'll be too late. This is not your hill to die on. I quite like my rights. Future you is going to be pretty pissed off if you gave yours away. And again, I'm Lauren Paritra. Please subscribe, turn notifications on, hype this video if you want to help us maintain our lead on Katie Miller, wife of Stephen Little Bitch Miller. And let us know what you want to talk about next. Subbing is free, takes all of us.